Unmute that. G'day, Ron. Huh. Yes. Fuck yeah. Oh yeah. That's all. Fuck yeah, that's all. Let's see what I'm recommended. Weird. I think I should watch this.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. Today I'm going to address a video I posted about a month or two ago. So the general topic was the doxing of VTubers, in particular the sharing of their real life faces. This was a topic that I had always meant to address one day, and at the time, a very viral post was made that doxed the face of a particular VTuber, which caused a big outrage. And please keep them unnamed in the comments section. Seeing that unfold, I was pretty fired up about the situation, decided to finally address the topic. However, despite censoring the real face of the VTuber contained in the post, I quickly realized that while my intentions may have been good, I was also generating more curiosity towards it by virtue of simply talking over its censored screenshots. And I could tell based on the comments section that some people are now actively trying to find the original uncensored photos for themselves, which was obviously never my intention. And even though the video had an overwhelming amount of support at the time, I decided to delete it to cut off any more unwanted attention towards the post only about an hour after my video went live. But while taking down the video, I also stated that I would revisit the topic with more generalized examples to make sure I'm also protecting the privacy of VTubers while talking about an issue that I think is very important. Today is the day I would like to take a better stab at this. So, back to the topic at hand, the poorly named phrase face reveal shows up in the recommended searches for just about every VTuber out there and most content creators who are anonymous, whether they have actually revealed it or not. Hell, even when searching my own name, one of the highest suggestions is my face reveal. I mean, I get the curiosity of wanting to know what a given content creator looks like, especially VTubers, but some of this curiosity crosses into borderline obsession, and at the very least, disrespect for their privacy. I mean, what do you even expect to see anyways? For them to look like a cute anime girl? If we're being honest, the main reason behind all of this is fueled by vanity, wanting to know the physical appearance of an anonymous content creator to somehow validate the romanticized version of them that exists in a viewer's head. And perhaps unsurprisingly, there are entire profiles dedicated to VTuber quote-unquote face reveals, largely focusing on the most popular ones. And what's disappointing is that this type of content has historically received pretty decent support. And it's disappointing because it's very clear that this type of content a VTuber's character and character name attached to their real-life face goes against their wishes. I mean, if they wanted to make that connection, they would do it by themselves. Ask yourself why these videos and photos are being posted by random, unaffiliated third parties and not by the content creators themselves, especially given the fact that most of this content is monetized. Also ask why these types of accounts that reveal their faces are constantly terminated on different platforms. But one of the biggest offenses to this behavior is that they're not technically doxing because these are public photos and videos. And while it may be true that some big VTubers have used their real life face for former jobs or accounts, that does not make it okay to try to attach it to their current anonymous accounts. It's invasive and weird and clearly goes against the content creators' wishes. The creators have every reason to want their privacy protected, even if public photos of their real identity exist on other accounts from years back. And given how crazy people can be on the internet, creators of all sizes should have their real identity protected from potentially dangerous people if they want that. While it's not the typical definition of doxing we're used to, in the end, it has the same effect on their privacy and security. And when you stop to consider things, it's such a hollow and pointless thing to do. All that risk for what? To show that a content creator is not a cute anime girl underneath the mask after all? This whole thing is a reflection of the dehumanizing of content creators, VTubers most significantly. You have to be some level of sociopathic to actively not care about the harm that unneededly posting their docs will cause. I don't care if these videos or posts are made as a joke or not, it plays to the same effect for the victim. And while I understand the curiosity of knowing what they look like, just know, if you have any respect for these content creators, at the very least,
I've got nerds,
you won't engage in this type of invasive content, even as a casual bystander. But now, I will step down from my soapbox and call this a video. I appreciate your understanding about my previous attempt at this, and it's something I will be more attentive of in the future. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
I'm gonna avoid that one. What was your house rule you had as a kid that you thought was... Oh, shit. I wonder what else I could look at.
Oh man, I need a wee so badly.
What do you need?
A wee.
A wee?
A piss.
A piss? What?
I need the toilets.
Oh.
Carmen. Oh yes, Carmen. I definitely, yes, we definitely know what it means, talking a bunch of stuff. Oh, it's solar sands.
In general is the key phrase for tonight. As we all know, what people find appealing in art is subjective, and trying to construct strict rules around art is pretty much a fruitless task. A lot of stuff just depends, but I sometimes find common themes between art that in general, maybe not all the time, but most of the time, I find to be undesirable. Yeah, sure, a lot of these things can simply be a consequence of learning, and there's no shame in that. But that doesn't stop me from talking about this in kind of a harsh manner, because I just think it's entertaining, and I guess some other people think it's entertaining too. I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Nothing really matters.
My existence is characterized by suffering.
So let's just get this show on the road, I guess. Weird spiky hair. Usually this starts out with something like a bowl haircut with a bunch of random hair spikes at the end, and sometimes within the hair itself. I know hair is complicated and not an easy thing to draw, but one of the best things you can do to get out of that lack of understanding is to realize there is volume in hair. It's a 3D object, not some kind of cut-up sheet of cloth you just place on the scalp. Also, before I say anything else, I'd just like to point out how it seems like the eyes were moved apart just so they could fit in this lock of hair. That's pretty amazing. But back to what I was talking about. I also think that experimenting with different shapes could add more to the hair. It could have curves and varying sizes, all kinds of stuff. Go crazy. But what about different styles? I can already hear you typing. Well, I guess it just depends on what you're going for, and this applies to everything in this video. But if you want your hair to look fluid and dynamic, then I would focus on understanding volume and experimentation. Don't worry, I used to do this kind of stuff too. Black shading. Black shading kind of has an infamous reputation in the art community. The people who say, never shade with black under any circumstances, seem to have never picked up a comic book. Black shading is just an art technique that can be used well or badly. Using black with color creates a very harsh contrast. It can be used to set up a mood or create a style. I think one of the major problems is when black shading is just used poorly. Soft shading with black and colors that are very close to neutral colors sometimes just makes your characters look dirty instead of shaded, and sometimes it's just visually bland. Sol shading usually gives off a better effect, in my opinion, but believe it or not, what may look like black in a shadow or shading could actually be a completely different color, and that doesn't just mean it's a darker color of the base color. You'll be surprised what colors go well together when you research a bit. It's actually quite fun just to explore this stuff. Weird highlights. So what are highlights? Well, they're the thing that makes your thing look more like a thing. Okay, they're the small touches that make something look reflective or brighter. It just depends on the texture, really. The problem is when someone figures this out and decides to just put highlights everywhere they can. This seems to happen most frequently with hair. And no, I'm not talking about those kind of highlights. Or I might be. Do women inject light into their hair somehow? Or something? I'm sorry, I don't know very much about women's hair, or women in general. I'm talking about the literal light that reflects off people's hair. Some people just like to put a random streak across the hair and call it a day. But no, there can be more to it than that. You can follow curves. Sometimes there's splits and crap. Even with simple art styles, you can do this.
Oh, it looks nice.
Hair is weird. Lack of value in shading. The amount of value you put in your artwork can vary depending on what kind of effect you want. But I think if you want to make your drawing look like it has shading, it would be wise to make sure people can actually see it. There comes a point where it just looks like flat color. This is just another case of things that look different from what they actually are. Some shading is actually darker than it appears, and some highlights are brighter than they appear. It's just something that you can look out for. Sure, if you want to go for something more gentle, you can, but at least make it so that I know it's shading and not some random shift in color. Cut off legs. This might be getting into nitpick territory, but I do see it very often, and for some reason, it just bothers me. The art I'm going to show isn't really bad by any means. I do want to give a little credit, but I also want to use them as examples. For some reason, some artists like to draw 80% of a character and then hack off their legs near the bottom of the frame. It wouldn't even take that much to just extend the legs to the bottom of the canvas or make them bend up at the knees. It wouldn't really destroy the balance or anything. It's just kind of an odd choice. This happens with other limbs as well, but most commonly with legs. It's not like you can't cut off portions of your artwork, but usually there's some kind of fade or lack of line work that indicate that this is a natural cutoff and not the result of surgery or something. I mean, I hope these aren't supposed to be amputees. If they are, I'm so sorry. Anyway, my name is Solar Sands, and goodbye.
Okay, what music should I put on? Let's see if you guys can see it before I fucking... Oh wow, you can't see fucking music. That's depressing. It's just depressing, honestly. Like, oh shit, I fucking can't do that, can I? Oh yeah, also I'm gonna be doing art, so why the fuck would I need to have desktop audio? It's not like fucking, you know, any desktop audio. Now it's time to fucking open up Criteo since I've started using that now. I'm not sure if you guys can hear the music. I'm gonna have to assume you can. That looks fucking cool. Kritia. What? What? Say something now? What the fuck? Okay, what the fuck? Fucking fine, I'll do my stuff fucking right. There we go. This is my first. I haven't really gotten used to using the pen that I'm using. You know. That could look better. Two, 4, 8, 0. Fucking finally. When anyone else will join the chat. By the way, having multiple people chat at the same time really helps me with my personal goals on Twitch. So, you know, if any of you feel comfortable chatting, I'm completely open to you chatting at all, assuming you can hear what I'm saying, and you know, I'm gonna check. See who's watching. Okay. Assuming you all aren't really literal robots, if you're comfortable chatting, you know, feel free to chat. If it turns out you're saying stuff that would get blocked by AutoMod, then I'm sorry. Okay. I don't even know if any of you are banned or not. I genuinely don't know, because I do have a bot that will that will ban certain bots. That will ban certain bots, like Hoffs, for example. It bans Hoffs, so I'm not sure if it bans all sorts of bots. So, I mean, like, even if you are banned, you should still be able to view this content. So I'm not really so that might be why you're appearing. I'm not too sure if you are banned or just regular people. Fuck, I fucked it up. This looks like some sort of fucking weird art piece. I'm gonna try drawing a head. Fucking hell, I hate the fact that there's a certain part of the pen is incredibly hard to not press the buttons. Okay. I should go back onto my modded servers, onto my modded worlds on Minecraft. I'm reading the bunny. I'm bunny. I'm bunny. Okay. Hmm. Jeez, I'm really good at drawing snakes, honestly. Like, wait, I mean, then again, to be fair, I do have a bit of an obsession with snakes, starting from a young age. This is not an accurate snake, by the way. Obviously not an accurate one. Like, that's actually kind of scary. It's kind of fucking scary, honestly. Like, if you saw that at the reptile park, you'd think that they are mutating their animals or some shit. Fucking hell, like the fang, like the fucking teeth. It's actually kind of cool. I'm pretty proud of that. I'm essentially drawing my old OC, which was a snake. My old OC, my old original character. The name was Soul Snake. At some point, my Switch channel was called Soul Snake Gaming because I had a bit of an obsession with my fucking thing. I had a bit of an obsession with my original character, or I guess no, or in other words, or OC for short. I have a bit of a fucking obsession. I look back at it now and think I'm a fucking moron. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Mm-hmm. Okay, this doesn't look fucking cool. I'm gonna undo this. Okay, that seems good. The exterior of it seems good enough for them to work on. Here we fucking go, cut. There we go. Okay, that looks fucking nice. Oh fuck yeah, that looks kind of fucking cool. Okay, that's a nice pattern, honestly. I'm pretty proud of that pattern. G'day, Sophical. G'day, mate. Welcome to the stream. Yada yada. Well, hope you enjoy your time here. As I draw a snake, Sophical. Enjoy your time. Yes. Fucking yeah, right? Maybe I should add fucking whiskers here. Nah, whiskers wouldn't look good. Fucking hell. Oh shit, I should have opened Discord. Oh, look at that, it looks fucking cool. Look at that, looks cool. It's like leaf type, like the scales look kind of leafish. Actually kind of cool. Okay. I want to do something around here, cause like, you know, bit of empty space. Maybe for starters I could try doing. Maybe that. Actually, it looks alright. Doesn't look horrible. I could definitely get behind that. Okay, that's just taking advantage of how it looks. Here we go. Dun 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 dun. Dun, dun. There we go. So, yes. Feel free to chat if you are able to. I'll just be doing art and I will respond. Is the song that I'm listening to right now that does have Snoop Dogg? Is like a Snoop Dogg included? Because I can't really tell. Because obvious reasons. But then again, Stupidest does have a pretty notable voice, so perhaps this is, but I'm not too sure. Wait, perhaps it's not Snoop Dogg. The bottom area will be where will be where the very classic looking underside of most snakes, etc. have like I think I'm pretty sure the scales are thicker down there underneath it, but I can't really remember. Oh yeah, what's the if I ever wanted to get clipped, I couldn't just ask because fucking hell, people would just be a bit of a dick. I mean, I do definitely want to be clipped at some point because that'd be kind of fucking funny, but it's not like anyone's actually willing to clip me. It's not like I do clippable shit. I don't even have my fucking model yet. Here we go. This is actually looking kind of fucking cool. Do a little bit of a sketch before I watch some more YouTube. Clicky wiki, kitty, clicky wiki, kitty, yes. What do you think of this, everyone? Anyone is able to chat? If anyone, what do you think of this? I think it looks alright. It's got a bit of a Thanos looking chin, but still it looks alright. Okay, time for the grace period of waiting. Okay, I'm getting pimples on your forehead's fucking annoying. Like, getting those really giant ones. Okay. Okay, that's enough time to say, oh yeah. Let's see. Sneaky. Oh fuck, a sunburn. Sneaky snake. Okay, something. Fucking hell, I don't. Yes, I do listen to night. Okay, here we go. Fuck. Fuck. That's fucking annoying, ain't it? Let's see here. So it's all this work for fucking snack. Here we go. Quality. True quality assurance. Quality assurance. Fucking quality assurance, cat. Now to re-enable desktop audio and disable this. Enable this shit. Change it to GMX. Wanna open this up. Close Critia. Yes. Cancel. Wait, no. Fuck. No, don't save. No, don't save. Okay, now. YouTube. Watch the clicky kitty. If it really pops. Ah, fuck. I almost fucking opened up Minecraft. Oh, this will be fun.
What's up? Yeah, I'm talking to you, guy at YouTube who is being forced at gunpoint to review this video for monetization. There is nothing against this website's guidelines in this video. This video doesn't talk about the, well, you know, more mature aspects of this anime. This video mainly focuses on the reception of the anime back in 2020 and all the crazy ass drama that happened because of it. So, please don't kill me. Okay, love ya. Mwah. Okay, now that all that's out of the way, hey guys, Eden here. How you doing? How is the year treating you? Good? Alright. Well, that was actually a joke because I actually don't care about 2022. I want to take you back to a better time. A time before COVID, if you will. Yes. I would like to take you lads back to January 11th of 2020. Just about 2 years ago, back to the initial release of Interspecies Reviewers. But before we get into that, make sure you like the video, comment down below with other stuff you would be interested in me possibly making a video about. Let's try to get the video to 10,000 likes, guys. Your support on the channel helps me stay alive. You've been absolutely crushing the like goals lately, so please hit this one to 10,000. It only takes 2 seconds, and feel free to subscribe. Just do it, and if you do so, I appreciate you immensely. Where were we? Oh yeah. Interspecies Reviewers had its first episode air on January 11th of 2020. And my god, if you were part of the greater anime community, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, if you were watching seasonal anime at the time Interspecies Reviewers aired, then you know that this was not your ordinary season of anime. So many people were shitting their pants at the very sight of this series. So many people were making it their personality for the next 3 months. The reception was uncanny, and it was honestly not like anything I had ever seen before. I guess you could kind of relate it to the more recent redo of Healer, except the people who unironically like Interspecies Reviewers are the absolute chads of society. I would love to get a drink with those guys. The people who unironically like redo of Healer, however, well, I don't want them within 1,000 feet of me, if you know what I'm saying. What I'm about to say is kind of weird because Interspecies Reviewers is literally a show about a ragtag group of adventurers who just smash different fictional creatures like elves, furries, bird waifus, and probably everything else that could come to your mind, and then they rate it out of 10 and boom, that's the show. But even if this show is exceptionally silly in its plot and narrative, look, at the end of the day, I do think it's something I feel quite a bit of nostalgia for personally. Discord, you may know about it. It's a pretty cool application. I have a Discord. It's in the link in the description of all my videos. But I was in a private Discord with a bunch of my anime YouTuber friends at the time when this anime was airing, and I just remember once a week cracking a brewski open with the bros and watching anime titties together in 1080p on some random illegal streaming website and just laughing our asses off, because I think amidst all the drama that we will get into, that is what the bulk of the video is going to be, Interspecies Reviewers was just a really good comedy anime that was pretty fucking funny, and weirdly enough, it feels like it's kind of been lost to time already. Look, I'm not going to treat it like some masterpiece because it genuinely is not one, but it's so immensely unique and just out there in its own lane that I wish it wasn't remembered for all the shitty drama that surrounded it. And I wish that it was remembered as the show you can crack a cold one open to with the boys and then proceed to laugh your goddamn ass off. But guess what? That's a little bit too good to be true because the launch of this anime set Reddit on fire. It set Twitter on fire. It set my anime list on fire. This anime accidentally set all anime discourse on the internet ablaze. And in this video, we're going to recap all of that and more importantly, take a step back and think about what we can learn from the events that occurred in the early parts of 2020. I hope you enjoy. Okay, first up, Nuxtaku. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't really like this guy. I mean, just fucking look at this VTuber avatar. This man is blue. This man is literally blue. And as everyone watching this channel probably already knows, I fucking hate the color blue. So clearly, I wasn't going to be that much of a fan of this guy from the very start. That being said, I worked for Nux for about 2 years of my life. That's right, I, Corey Waiden, famous YouTuber. Before I was so very lucky to make enough money off of these stupid fucking anime reviews to where I can support myself entirely independently of my parents while studying in university. Before I was in this chapter of my life to where I could go study on campus some days and then watch anime for a living on all the other days, I was busting my ass editing for Nux while in community college. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, it was the best fucking job I could have ever asked for. Something that I think a lot of people in this world lack is this little thing called perspective. Right? Every once in a while, I'll see someone on Twitter complaining about their order getting fucked up at McDonald's or them not having the right size at fucking Zoomies. First of all, you're a loser for shopping at Zoomies. But second of all, if you're the type of person to get genuinely upset at some poor fucking soul working minimum wage at goddamn McDonald's, you are a bad person. You see, I used to work at this shitty little place called Wendy's, getting paid $8 an hour. And that shit kind of fucking sucked. Every day I would clock in and my manager would be like, yo, Hernando, you're on grill today. And I would go get the raw meat, put it on the grill. You know what? I'm going way too far into detail with this. But to put it short, I was basically the real life SpongeBob. And it was really boring. So when Nuxtaku comes down from the heavens and allows me to work for him for like 3 times of what I was making at Wendy's, you know, I was singing into the heavens at this point. I edited for him for basically all of 2019 and a large chunk of 2020. And to be honest, it was a really good gig. And on top of that, I really do think Nux is one of the most kind and considerate people I have met in my entire life. The way he interacts and helps other people in the community and has personally helped me in my journey on YouTube over the years is something I will be eternally grateful for. What I'm trying to say with this long ass tangent is I greatly appreciate Nux. He's a very, very good person. And with that out of the way, what he did with interspecies reviewers and my anime list was kind of fucking stupid. And even though I literally edited for him at the time of all this crazy ass drama going down, I still very openly did not like the way he acted throughout the situation. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, when the anime was airing, Nuxtaku led a raid to where he told all of his fans to go rate interspecies reviewers a 10 out of 10 on Mal, which is generally pretty harmless. Like, obviously he didn't really do any actual tangible damage to them. Like, obviously he didn't really harm them, right? It was just really fucking annoying for all the people in the My Anime List community. And while people on both sides were treating it like it was the start to some civil war, at the end of the day, it really wasn't all that serious. Other people till this day will disagree and continue to vilify Nux for it, but I think the raid really wasn't that big of a deal. My biggest problem with the Nux stuff was that there really wasn't much of a punch-up situation going on. At the time, he was basically at his peak of making anime-related content, and from my perspective, it didn't feel like he was putting down the big man and reigning victorious in a cool glory like how the title of the video would make you think. I mean, even the description of the video says, "This is so sad, LMAO," and we thought Funimation took that fat interspecies reviewer's L. But I would argue it more so felt like he was the big guy punching down on a community that just genuinely didn't want to deal with getting raided. My Anime List, the actual company, probably benefited from all of this in reality. Having a fuck ton of new people visit their website and possibly make accounts, receiving a lot of new members on a site that runs off ads. The actual company, My Anime List, probably ended with a net positive from the situation. It was the actual user base of My Anime List, the proletariat if you will, that was fucking pissed. And I'm just trying to say that they kind of had a right to be pissed off. Overall, I don't think it was that big of a deal, and the whole storm blew over. But a fair amount of Mal users do still fucking hate Nux for it and shit on interspecies reviewers as a result. So yeah, make of the situation what you will. And I also feel like I should mention that while I am defending the Mal user base, I also really don't like the Mal user base either. The scoring on that website is vicious, and the community will review bomb anything that comes close to passing Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Those people are kind of toxic. But you want to know who is really toxic? You want to know who is really just the absolute scum of the earth? I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. Funimation. I could go on and on with how much I fucking hate Funimation, but I'll stick to the topic at hand and focus on what they did to interspecies reviewers, which honestly just makes the whole Nux situation look like an ant in comparison. When interspecies reviewers was first announced to be receiving an anime, people who had already read the manga were losing their fucking minds because, well, you know, they knew what the fuck the anime was actually about. When Funimation announced that they would be licensing the anime and simulcasting it, people were really losing their goddamn minds. But you see, no one at Funimation had, well, you know, read the actual fucking manga prior to greenlighting the simulcast. Because only a few episodes in, they scrapped the entire project and took all of the sub and dub episodes off of their website, stating that after careful consideration, we determined that the series falls outside of our standards. We have the utmost respect for our creators, so rather than substantially altering the content, we felt taking it down was the most respectful choice. Which, by the way, that's fucking bullshit. Funimation drastically alters shit all the fucking time. Dragon Maid dub, Kaguya-sama dub, and those are just the anime that I actually give a shit about and think are worth mentioning. And you might be thinking, Eden, this is a minor slip up on Funimation's part. This isn't really something worth busting corporate balls for. And to be honest, I agree with you. Them removing it from their website is entirely their own decision at at the end of the
10
day.
minutes.
But what you
Still
need to
very long.
understand is that at this point in time, Funimation was actively paying money to own the exclusive rights to this series, but also simultaneously not letting anyone watch it. People began to re-upload the episodes to other
The actual fuck? They want to... Okay, that's just fucking dumb.
websites that allowed that content, you know, certain websites that I can't really mention the name of, and Funimation fucking DMCA'd those re-uploads. Funimation was actively paying money and spending resources just so people could not watch this anime. And you really gotta think to yourself, what type of company that entirely revolves itself around the medium of anime would have such a clear contempt for interspecies reviewers? How the fuck could one company be so evil, be so narcissistic to think that they even have the right to do something like this? Oh wait, they're owned by Sony. Okay, it makes sense now. So overall, due to the context surrounding the series and the fiery
Okay, I'm gonna set something up. Oh, so that's when I got the Soames screen. When was this? Okay, outdated shit. Okay, I guess it's not going to be easy to find the rights for it.
Of course, that surrounded the drama related to its release. Millions of people remember interspecies reviewers as this dubious little creature up to mischief. No good. But I'm here to say fuck that. Go hop in a Discord call and enjoy the culture that this anime is with your boys, preferably drinking alcohol as well. I am an alcoholic. This is a coming out video. Anyways, huge thanks to my patrons: Capitan, Jokum, Madiz, Rover Rope, Pursuant Puddle, Bread and
Okay.
Butter.
Huh. The fuck? The actual fuck? Fucking, I'm being followed by random people from Japan. That's fucking strange.
So a few years.
No, I'm gonna avoid any incredibly controversial topics right now. Cause, you know, I'd rather... This is awesome. Is the 1x1 just some fucking joke? What?
Wow.
It's all algorithmic. Fucking...
It is my dream for Lily to cover her feet in sweet and sour sauce with chicken nuggets.
I've seen this clip before.
A fruit cup landed me in front of several police with guns drawn. Reddit. What are your best well that escalated quickly stories? I was at lunch in high school like 7 years ago or something, eating with a friend of mine. He had one of those dermal hearing aids, because his hearing was pretty bad. He always caught a lot of shit for it, because high schoolers are fucking horrible creatures. This guy comes up to him, and starts talking shit. At first I thought the guy was a friend of his, and just fucking with him, but I learned later he'd been tormenting him like all day, and throughout the school year. Anyway, he says something my friend doesn't like. My friend flips the fucking table over. I just managed to save my sandwich with my lightning quick reflexes, and just starts beating the shit out of the guy. I would have helped him, out of principle and everything, but honestly he looked like he had that shit covered, and I had a delicious chicken sandwich to finish off. Turns out he did indeed have that shit covered. The guy was a known troublemaker, so my friend got off with a minor punishment. My friend actually managed to rip a chunk of his afro out, and made him cry. And that's why you don't fuck with the disabled. It's Lame but a friend of mine, and I skipped class back when we were in HS. We decided to go hang out in the handicap stall and talk since she was having a shitty day. Well, we got caught and sent to the principal's office and both questioned and searched. Apparently, the $2 of lunch money I owed her was left on the ground, and they thought it was a drug deal. When they asked me if the $2 was for drugs, I responded with, "Tell me, what decent drugs can I buy for $2? It wasn't the answer they were looking for. My son got in a fight in after school daycare.
What fucking else are you gonna say? What else are you gonna say? Like, what drugs can you buy for $2? That are, like, what sort of drugs? Like fucking, oh yeah, gonna buy 10 micrograms of weed for like fucking $2, mate. Actually, wait, no, this is too much. Let's go to the nanograms. Oh wait, no, that's way too much, mate. Maybe 1/10 of a nanogram of weed. Yeah, that's exactly.
And got a black eye. Next morning I was at work and my wife could not get him to go to school because he was too embarrassed the other kids would make fun of him for losing a fight. My wife calls me frantically, and I'm at work with no time to deal with it. I told her to tell him to just say the other kid was much bigger, so no one could blame him for getting beat up. Next thing I know, I get a call from the police. My son told the school an adult had attacked him, and they believed him, and called the cops. When the cops talked to my son, he told them he had made it up, because his mother told him to say that. The cops called her, and she told them I told her to tell him that. So the cops assumed I had beat him, and told him to lie about it. So I told the cops the story, and they called the daycare. Unfortunately, the same worker who was there when my son got in the fight happened to be on duty, and was able to tell the cops what really happened. Chances are if she had not been there to take that call, the other daycare workers would have known nothing about this insignificant fight and I would have been arrested for child abuse. I was taking photos of my friend's band playing a gig at a festival. As they finish, and I give them a hand packing down, I notice that it's Taylor Hawkins from Foo Fighters' other band playing next, so I sneak myself a little spot to sit at the side of the stage. Next thing I know, Dave Grohl, Josh Homme and John Paul Jones all came, and sat next to me. I nearly shit and came simultaneously. I was sitting at an outdoor cafe. Dude I kind of know comes up, and sits with me, and person I was chatting with. I'm not really paying attention, drinking my tasty drink. Dude gets out a thing, which turns out to be a lighter in the shape of a tiny gun and starts taking it apart, fixing it or refilling it or something. Apparently there's an armored car across the street. They, apparently, somehow get a glimpse of the tiny gun lighter, call police and Before I know what's up, we've all got guns in our faces, angry police shouting at us not to move, and are being pushed down on the sidewalk. Dude is cuffed and searched, then let go. Me and other personnel end up shaking to return to our spilled drinks. It wasn't awesome. Open bracket.
Fucking hell, what am I
Age
drinks?
24, female, involved in a LDR with boyfriend. One night at 3 AM I get a call from a number I do not recognize. It's a friend of my BF, telling me he is locked out, lived up the street from me, and wanted to know if he could stay on my couch for the night. Like an idiot, I'll let him in. He proceeds to try to follow me back to my bedroom. Struggle ensues. My good neighbor guy friends are outside drinking. Hear me, run in and drag the guy out. Apparently he got my cell hash by calling my BF and telling him some lie about leaving something at my house. The next day I get a call from this Ashat, claiming he blacked out, doesn't remember anything, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, just forget my number. I was freaked out about it and didn't want to leave my house for a while. My good guy friends convinced me to go out with them and have a beer. We walked to our local spot, Station 1 in Springfield, Ohio, and the gropey lying fratted is there. A friend comes up to me and tells me he has been talking shit about me all night, how I wanted him to come over. I was all over him. I'm a slut. ECT. Right, if I wanted you so bad, why did you have to lie to get my phone number? The slime ball proceeds to follow me around. Anywhere I go, he follows. From the dartboard to the jukebox, from the window to the wall. I can't get away from this douche. Finally, I look at him and say, I'm not comfortable with you next to me. Please leave me alone. He then starts slurring that he doesn't want me. No one wants me. I told him to prove it and leave me the fuck alone. He looks at my guy friends and says, they aren't your friends. These are my brothers. You get the fuck out. Now, they may have all been in a frat together, but I have been through thick and thin with these fellas for 8 years. I should also mention that Rat Bulls on Parade is blaring. My good friend John tells him, she asked you to leave her alone. Douche responds, after I set her straight, grabbing my arm. My first reaction was to hit him, but before I even had my arm back, John literally beat me to the punch. John grabs him by the chest of his shirt, lifts him up, and throws him over a table full of college kids, breaking the table, spilling beer, glass shattering. One of those the music stops and everyone clears out kinda moments. The douche gets up crying. John pounds his clenched fist once on his chest and yells, this girl is everything but blood to me. You look at her again, I'll stomp your fucking face. Get the fuck out of our bar. Douche runs away, crying. It looked like he had pissed himself, but it could have been the beer. The bartender came over to us, shook John's hand, told us that asshole had left his tab open, and we drank for free the rest of the night. TLDR, free beer tastes best when it's on the tab of your attempted rapist. When I was in high school, there was a girl who rode my bus who lived far away. The bus drove out every day just to drop her off. A lot of kids on the bus resented her for it, but I had taken a liking to her, so I swore that if any of them picked on her I would stick up for her. That day came.
Oh shit, I just realised that I've gotten over 70 followers on Twitter. I kid you not, I've got fucking 70. Oh yeah, 77. Even fucking better, mate. Got fucking 77 followers. Wanna see who most of them are? There's this person, this person. Woo, I wonder what these people are. Fucking... There we go, here you go. Fucking hell, just so fucking ready. Like, jeez. If I look hard enough, I might find someone that I used to watch. Oh yeah, that's a fan account for Russia. It's made... See messages. Okay, I'm gonna close that off now, since...
Someone
Anyways.
yelled out, "Hey, girl, why don't you get a taxi or something?" I responded, "Hey asshole, why don't you shut up?" A lot of people went to as low people do when there's a fight. The fuck you just say to me? The adrenaline was pumping through me. I said, "Leave her alone, fuckwit, or I swear to God I will cut your dick off and feed it to you." Got that, shit skin? I was so angry and riled up by the idea of a fight, I could see that he was taken aback. My friend told me later that he was actually afraid of me for a moment, in case he got in the crossfire. The guy stood up at this point. The bus driver pulled over, interrogated us and brought him to the front of the bus. This girl was once standing next to me at a bar.
Oh shit, so... I wonder if I can show, Trash, the Patreon version of Trash Taste. Not sure if I can. I'm not gonna be playing Small Amy, because, no, fuck that. I suck too much. Shit, DeviantArt, might as well see what's new on DeviantArt while I'm here. Huh. Intriguing. Fucking intriguing, mate. So. Yes. My oldest supporter on here is this person. Okay. Let's see what I can do. I just want to fucking support this person since then. Okay. So gallery. All. This is the most recent. Okay. There we go. Just gotta do that.
While I spoke to my friend then, when my friend walked away, I ordered a drink, turned around, said hello, and she punched me so hard in the face that the next thing I knew I was on the floor and my friend was on her back pulling her hair out, while bar staff were cradling their faces because they had also been punched. I got up, and she called me a racist and a homophobe. I'm a gay lady.
I drank and around, said hello, and she...
And I didn't say or do anything racist while people were struggling to bring her down. I just stood there and took a sip of my drink. It was fucking crazy. I was about 17 and a waitress during the overpass shift at the 24-hour diner I worked at. A bunch of guys came in drunk and talking like pirates. It really wasn't that big of a deal, because at least they weren't barfing in the fake plants like most of the other drunk people did. They all ordered in their pirate voices, and then I got to the last guy. He said, "Ugh matey, I'll have some cheese fries." So I took his order down, and he picked up the butter knife beside him, pointed it at me, and said very seriously, "If you fuck up my cheese fries, I swear to God I will slit your throat and jerk off in it." That sure did escalate quickly. I used to work really early in the morning at UPS, and was giving a coworker a ride to work every day. I would leave my house at around 3:30 AM or so, and pick him up from the next town over. He would wait for me in the middle of a deserted main street. So, one morning I'm going through my normal routine. I get to the street and don't see him. I pull over at where I usually pick him up from and wait. At this point I'm just looking around, because I didn't actually know which house he lived in. After a few minutes he comes out from an alley and said he had to take a piss and didn't want to go back upstairs to wake his girlfriend. No worries. So I pull out onto the road and start heading to work. As soon as I start making the turn off the main street, I see a patrol car fly onto the road in my rear view. I continue on thinking nothing of it until I see another one approach from the opposite direction of the road I'm on. I take the next right on the road, which happens to be my normal route for getting out of this shit town. Halfway down the street both patrol cars swing behind me, so I begin to pull over. I get fucking boxed in with guns held at their sides, not drawn at me. I roll down my window with a big WTF on my face. I explain we are going to work, etc. Then they start asking my passenger what he's holding, and actually draw their weapons. Officer, what's in your left hand? Passenger, my socks. He had extra socks in case it was cold or some shit. Officer, what's in your right hand? Passenger, in the most. Please don't fucking shoot me voice ever a banana. All in all pretty awesome. The officer said they were looking for a robbery suspect on foot in town. Well, when I was a sophomore in high school, I was an idiot, and my friend convinced us to get high and wander the backwoods trails that were pathed by one guy. My friend said that, if I ever see a pickup truck coming, to duck into the underbrush. So we were laughing our asses off, when suddenly we hear a truck plodding along. It was far off, so I wasn't worried. All of a sudden, we heard a loud sound behind us, and we see the dude's truck roaring around the corner, running over plants. Now to give you some info, the ground was sandy. So he slides into park, gets out, and my friend bursts off into the brush, screaming shit, shit, shit. Me, being the idiot, and the one time I don't run when I'm high, looked at the dude. And he looked like the general old dude, but he seemed cool. He got out, and he was leaning on the side of the bed when he motioned for me to come over. I thought he was going to give me a rough talking to, maybe ask my info, and that would be that. Nope. The dude proceeds, in the matter of about 2 seconds, to reach in the bed and pull out a shotgun, immediately followed by "You fucking kids bother me every day." I bolted. You know where there are those areas with the sharp plants with serrated palm edges? There was a huge collection of those, but it was closest to get off the path. I jumped fully into it. I busted my ass when I slid down the dirt, and then I heard a gunshot. It was insanely loud. I nearly pissed my pants. I started making way further in as quick as I could, and I could hear him muttering and messing about the leaves trying to see me. So about 15 minutes of blindly wandering through the brush, I see my friend far off, and yell for him. He turns and we reunite. We were completely fucking lost. We had to walk a mile, just to get to those paths. So we wandered around for around 2 hours being quiet, because we could still faintly hear the truck. So we were crawling through and finally we saw the highway. And I can't even imagine what it looked like to see us. We were bloodied up, my legs were torn up, and we were fighting our way back up this small gully to the open highway. We emerged, and some nice lady stopped and asked if we were alright, in her minivan. We said we were good, and he called a friend to pick us up. Turns out we were really far from where we started. She picked us up, we both chilled at her house. I went home later that night. My parents grounded me because I had been out so long. TL. Doctor, I got shot at by an old dude and wandered around in the bush trying to find my way back to civilization. A few years ago during the summer, a group of my friends went up to stay at some beach house for a weekend with me. It was a nice 2 days, and since none of us could drive yet, my friend's mother had to come and drive us home. Now, since we spent almost the entire weekend awake doing anything from football to catching lobsters, most of us were exhausted. In fact, the majority of us, around 4 out of the 6 of us, fell asleep at various points throughout the ride home. Well, it's been around 2 hours since we left the house, when I finally come to and look around. The only people awake are me, my friend, let's call him Bill, and a different friend's mom, who was driving us home. A few minutes of driving in silence and we are coming up one of the biggest hills in the city. As soon as we reach the top of the hill and begin our descent, 3 police cruisers and 3 state cruisers put on their sirens. They had an ambush set up at the top for us. I had no idea what was going on, so I decided to just stay calm, quiet, and wake up my friends. I figured we must have been speeding or something. Just on the way up to the beach, how's my friend's mom got a ticket? Next thing I know 4 pistols are being aimed at the car and we are all being told to put our hands out of the window. Now, most of the people in the car have only been awake for a few seconds and were justifiably freaking out. Given that the majority of us were small teenagers, we could barely even fit our hands out of the window. After a few minutes, they pull Bill out of the car and question him. After around 10 minutes, we are allowed to leave. Everyone asks him what the hell just happened, and he and the driver explain that halfway through the car ride they decided it would be hilarious to put up a sign that said, "Help me," against the window. Thanks to that cocksucker I'm no longer mentally able to sleep in a car. I've never witnessed a food fight until senior year of high school with only about 3 weeks left until the year's end. Some friends and I are just sitting at our usual table minding our own business when a single milk carton goes flying overhead and lands in between some tables. Thinking nothing of it as my school, about 700 people in this particular lunch period, was a bunch of rowdy ghetto fucks. We continue eating. A couple minutes later, somebody retaliated and threw a milk carton back up in the air. This time it was full, and splattered luckily on an empty chair. Next thing I know, there was a barrage of spaghetti flying overhead, and I duck, so I don't get hit with any pasta shrapnel. Shit hits the fan. Half of the people start throwing food and the other half are either running or ducking. One of those hard plastic trays, like the ones from Taco Bell, gets chucked across the cafeteria, which was responded with trays getting thrown everywhere. Right as I'm thinking that this is getting dangerous, a fucking chair gets thrown into the crowd. At least 4 fights immediately break out, as in, a crowd of people beat the shit out of one person. No such thing as a fair fight in my HS, and the room is in utter chaos with fights, chairs and hard trays still being thrown, food everywhere still also being thrown, teachers getting pushed over and unable to move into a controlling position. Fuck that shit. I walked out the back door and went home. That was enough school for me that day. Practically the same story repeated itself 3 more times in the next week with people getting injured each time. Riot control points were then in my cafeteria until the end of the year. r/ask Reddit. What's the stupidest thing someone has argued with you about? My father, in his 80s, had a heart attack and fell over in the snow. He broke his ankle and so was in the hospital for an extended period. My mother could not be convinced that he did not do this on purpose to get out of a holiday that he wasn't too keen on. He had a ducking heart attack. You can't just decide to have one just to get out of something. Is he okay? No, they're still married. The stress from the pressures of the holiday could have played a factor in his health issues. My grandpa always ended up in the hospital before or after Thanksgiving for heart attacks, and it just so happened that my grandma was a holy terror around that time as well. Definitely not on purpose, but maybe related to the hatred and stress surrounding the holiday itself. Duckman, I hope that if I ever get to the point where I routinely get heart attacks around a holiday, that I'll have the balls to tell the family I'm celebrating in the Bahamas. I almost got into fist fight with my best friend explaining the difference between a square and a rectangle. Well, you know what they say, be there or be rectangle. One that comes to mind is at my high school graduation. Our school photographer took a really good candid photo of this girl smiling up at the sky. I think we had just thrown our caps up there. They put it on the homepage of school website. A different girl I know swore the picture was of her, when it was clearly a picture of someone else. It was sad funny at the same time. She said they put this great picture of me on the website. We politely pointed out that it wasn't her. No, she was convinced it was her and wouldn't believe us. It was bizarre. Do you think she ever thinks about this and worry about seeing you again just so you don't bring it up? I wouldn't, I know by experience at it. I'm not a girl. Stop sending me pics, you sick ducks. This reminds me of a similar story at my high school. The school put a picture of my face on the homepage of the school website. Then people tried to argue it wasn't me. It was bizarre. I watched a couple break up over whether or not a chicken could be a pet. They got into this extremely heated argument, which led to them hitting each other. Eventually both of them turned to me and asked for my opinion. I said, why couldn't a chicken be a pet? I've seen videos of people having chickens as pets. The girl got pissed off at my answer and had to go have a cigarette to calm down. After that, she refused to talk to me because I sided with him. Volatile. This is the most petty argument I've read about, but honestly I would have loved to be there. This was at work and they were throwing shit at each other, yelling, and then got into a pushing fight over chickens. Did they get fired? No. You really had to do something bad to get fired from this place. They wanted low turnover rates so they could impress the shareholders. I had people who didn't show up to work for a week, people who cursed at customers, and people who stole product that didn't get fired. I tried to tell my little brother that it was spelled sword not sword. I even broke out the Webster's Unabridged to prove it to him. His reaction? Haha, your dictionary spelled it wrong. As I am the younger sibling, I can remember making these dumbest comebacks when arguing with my sister. As the older sibling, hug. Give your sister a hug for not killing you. When my brother was in 4th grade and I was in 7th grade, he was obsessed with RuneScape and with getting the ultimate sword, a scimitar. I explained to him again and again that the word was pronounced scimitar, but he insisted scimitars were a different thing. That magic sword Aladdin uses on the TV show. I tried explaining that Aladdin's sword wasn't magic, and that it was a scimitar too, to which he stubbornly insisted yeah, because it's a pun on scimitar. I gave up. Let him have his scimitar.
I'm back, mate.
I used
French
to play
toast.
WoW with someone who pronounced volatile
Is that the one
in a
trick
different
pony in
way
terms of
every
making
time.
French toast?
Violated. Violet. I also played League
So
of
what's
Legends
happening?
with someone who pronounced malady as emulated.
G'day, Sophie.
It wasn't
Thanks for
even to
staying.
be funny. He just thought that's how you say it and refused to be corrected. In Trivial
Okay,
Pursuit,
no
I
knives,
asked
so
USS
using a
Eisenhower
wooden
or some such in
bamboo
response
spoon
to a
is actually
question
surprisingly
about
effective.
ships, and the fool reading the
There's-
questions
French
insisted
toast
I
is
was
fucking
wrong
perfect.
because the card said the USS Eisenhower. This was early in the game. I told her definite articles and conjunctions didn't matter, but she held firm. Other
Now it's
players,
perfect.
including her husband, were afraid to oppose her. I gave ridiculous made-up answers for the rest of the game. I would have walked away after that. Sorry, the card says the moops. That's not moops, you jerk. I tease Moors. I tease a misprint. I was watching Escape from New York. My friend got really mad that Snake Plissken was just a rip-off of Solid Snake from Metal Gear. He refused to accept the fact that Escape from New York came out like 17 years earlier and Solid Snake was inspired by Plissken. This is extremely frustrating for some reason. You have no idea how I felt during the entire argument. He threw out the fact they are both Snake. He goes by Plissken in Metal Gear Solid 2 and they both have eye patches. I tell him that Escape from New York came out in 1981. He responds with Metal Gear had a game on the NES, which was still 6 years later and didn't have Snake. Someone I work with said if they can't see drops of water on coming from something then it isn't wet. I got a damp cloth and asked if it was wet. No, there isn't any drops coming from it. So I wrung it out and got more water out of it. They didn't want to argue anymore. Imagine being that stubborn, and then completely annihilated. Don't go overboard with stubbornness. Folks, it wasn't wet,
French
but you
toast
made it
tastes
wet
like
when you wrung it
pancakes.
out.
Just
He claimed
cheaper.
that when you cut down a tree they immediately release all the carbon
No,
dioxide
no.
they have ever
Maybe
absorbed.
pancakes
Hence
are
trees
just
are
cheap
useless
versions
at
of
carbon
French toast. I have no fucking
sequestration.
idea. I'm not
There would be so
yeah.
many dead lumberjacks.
I'm
Instant
currently eating
death.
French toast.
Coffin. My mother has argued with me over if we are currently arguing. Me. Please don't yell at me, Mum. I'm not yelling at you, don't tell me what I'm doing. 20 minutes later. Mum. Why are you always on the defensive when we talk? Mom. Insert completely wrong fact about me. No. Corrects fact. Mom. You're always so defensive. Fuck. I've had this argument before, and also the argument that you're talking back to your parents when all you did was answer their question or respond in a normal way, and that sparks a whole new argument. I told a co-worker that I was taking a class in archaeology, and was pretty interested in majoring in it. He insisted archaeologists dug up dinosaurs. I explained. No, that's a really common mistake. Paleontologists dig up dinosaurs. Archaeologists deal with human stuff. Dude got really defensive and doubled down, quizzing me on random dinosaurs facts that he probably didn't know either, and said I would never make it as an archaeologist if I didn't know those things. His final statement was, well, what if you're digging up a building and you find a dinosaur skull? Huh, what are you going to do then? Before walking out? Like, dude, you would call someone else who knows about said dinosaur? Also, if I'm digging up a building and a ducking fossil from the Mesozoic era, is there we've dug too deep? Dude just couldn't accept he had made a mistake. We dug too deep. Or you're accidentally excavating the field museum. That filtering water is unnecessary and dumping all our waste into the rivers is fine because the water cycle takes care of it. I hope he enjoys his water with a side of giardia. That's a line made up by Big Water so they can sell more of their product. Some kid tried to argue with me that...
Oh no.
Redditors, we all have that one friend who always seeks attention using made-up stories. What's the dumbest thing that he/she came up to impress everybody, but failed dramatically? 2 stories stand out. He was a Gulf War veteran. Except, dude, you were born in 1981 and the Gulf War was 1991 to 1992, when we were in 5th grade. Congrats on being an 11-year-old combat veteran. His uncle had taught him to fly an Air Force jet. By his telling, his uncle was a mechanic in the Air Force. They had one jet that apparently nobody could fix. But this uncle, through sheer mechanical savantism, fixed the jet. The Air Force, ignoring all fiscal law, apparently was so grateful to this mechanic that they gifted him the jet. He then flew the jet to our tiny local airport, where he taught my acquaintance how to fly it. I told her I could not keep hearing her go on about her boyfriend, who had started using and selling drugs. Let me know when she cut ties with that crowd. Less than 2 hours later, I get a breathless call from a strange number. She has packed up and got out of his place, was staying in a motel. I asked how she got the money and she mumbled something about a friend who met her and gave her money, but was out of town and she couldn't stay at their actual place. Huh. I figured it was crap, but decided to play along and make her give herself away. I said, oh, my sister-in-law is nearby. I'm gonna send her over with some groceries. Which motel is it? Immediately she starts going on, no, I don't need that. Don't send anyone, but would not tell me the motel name. Said, oh, I don't know. I asked how you check into a motel and not know the name of it. Go look outside, read me the sign. She just kept dodging around and saying not to worry about it. She said she would call me back the next day and we rang off. On a hunch, I called the number back and her roommate at the boyfriend's place picked up. She hadn't gone anywhere, just called me from a different number. The roommate put her on the phone and she started yelling at me for calling her back. I told her, when she quit lying and really got help, let me know. That was the last time I heard from mom for a while. Not a friend really, but this one coworker of mine once told me a few years back he was contracted to paint this sorority house, and while he was painting, about 8 girls, fresh out of the showers, wearing only towels, came in, got naked while they were working, and just basically tried to have sex with him. Mind you, this guy is a 55-year redneck with about 3 teeth in his mouth, so I'm calling BS on that. He's a...
Hey, this is Doug, also known as the place we solve problems that nobody has. Gather round, my dear listeners, for this is the story of how Santa Claus saved Skyrim's Christmassy glory. It all started when Santa had an idea, you see. Instead of presents this year, I'll give Skyrim cheese. Dozens and hundreds and thousands of cheese. I'll give cheese to Skyrim and they'll shout out with glee. So Santa packed up his cheese and set off with a grin. But he was caught trying to cross the border into Skyrim.
Okay, anyways, shit. At least you'd never go hungry.
When Santa finally awoke, something was not right. The people of Skyrim aren't celebrating Christmas tonight. Santa's giving out cheese, but no one seemed to care. It seems like there's no Christmas spirit in the air. What was going on? Why was no one here jolly? Where were the Christmas decorations and holly? Something had gone terribly wrong, Santa knew, and it quickly became clear what Santa must do. He must travel Skyrim and figure out why. Why no one is celebrating Christmas tonight.
Step towards the bluff when we call your name. One
Oh,
at a
this
time.
is go fucking insane. This is insanely slow.
Shut up and let's get this over with.
We getting there? Are we getting there? On Dancer, on Prancer, on Dasher and Vixen. Santa was a prisoner and he nearly got smacked. But lucky for him, a big dragon soon attacked and Santa escaped and ran off with his cheese sack. Oh, there's so much cheese. Whoa. Okay. To save Skyrim's Christmas, Santa's first task is clear. He must escape Helgen and get out of here.
What are you waiting for? Up the stairs now!
Merry Christmas, Ulfric.
Prisoner, keep close to me if you want to stay that way.
Oh god, there's still so much cheese from earlier.
Quick! I can cut you loose inside the keep.
Inside Helgen Keep, Santa looked left and right. It was clear he was going to get in a few fights, so he decided the best strategy for using his might.
St. Nicholas might have punched a guy during the Council of Nicaea. During the first Ecumenical Council of Nicaea, Arius was called upon to defend his position on the inferiority of Christ. St. Nicholas just couldn't listen to all of Arius's nonsense, and so he stood up and laid into Arius with his fist. We know historically that St. Nicholas just beats the shit out of heretics, so that's our plan. We're a melee build.
Hear that? Stormcloaks. Maybe we can reason with them.
Uh-oh, some heretics. Santa's gotta fight his way through, so he readied his two fists. Santa knew what to do. I got two presents for you two boys and girls. My fists! Yeah! Fuck you! Woo! Yeah, now this is a fight! Oh, yeah! Merry Christmas, bitch! After running through dungeons and spreading his cheese, Santa's escaped Helgen. He's finally free, but he still needs to get info from wherever he could. So he went to Alvor the blacksmith in Old Riverwood.
Sigrid, we have company.
What?
A dragon. We need to get word to Jarl Balgruuf in Whiterun.
Holy
whatever
shit.
soldiers we can.
Alvor didn't know why Skyrim Christmas isn't here, but he suggested the city of Whiterun. It's awfully near.
Hadvar, did you really see a dragon?
There's a child in here? Where is... I didn't know... Where's the child? Is the child alive? Oh, there it is. What the fuck? Oh, there's a downstairs. I've been leaking cheese into the downstairs this whole time. Child, Merry Christmas! Have you been a good girl this year? I have no idea if the child's alive. Clear a path. No. Merry Christmas, Alvor, he shouts. Santa's work here was done. Now it's off down the road to the city of Whiterun. As he opened the gates, Santa's heart filled with glee. All of these happy Skyrim citizens and the old Christmas tree. He ran through the streets, spreading cheese with a flash, until out in the market. Wait, who the fuck is that?
Isolde, was it? Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
Who is this man? This devil, Nazim? He is wearing Santa's clothing, it seems. This all now makes sense. Why Christmas isn't here. Nazim stole all Skyrim's Christmassy cheer. This man must be stopped, Santa now knows. By stopping Nazim, Christmas can regrow. But to stop this cruel man, Santa needs his clothes back. So he walked up to Nazim and gave him a smack.
Learn the merchant.
Oh, she's a fucking knife, you bitch. You should use fists.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Nazim has far too much power. With his Santa clothes and knife, it'd make anyone cower. And if Santa can't beat Nazim, it's Skyrim's darkest hour. But don't worry, dear listener, for Santa did not quit. He knew he could win with enough Christmas spirit. For you see, my dear listener, let me tell you about an ancient Christmas weapon, a secret Santa shout. If Santa Claus can unlock this old shout, well then there's no doubt he can kick Nazim out. But it won't be too easy. Shouts require killing a dragon. So Santa got to work. No lollygagging. First off, he's going to need proper Santa Claus clothes. And since Nazim stole Christmas, there's extras in his house, he now knows. Santa broke into Nazim's farmhouse, and to his delight, there was an extra pair of Santa clothes there in the candlelight. And now we leave, without leaving a trace. Now that Santa was properly dressed, it's time for him to begin his dragon quest. By killing a dragon, Santa could learn his Santa shout, so he went to the Jarl of Whiterun to see what's about.
So, you were at Helgen.
Oh, this place is gonna get full
dragon
of
with your
fucking
own eyes.
shades.
I'll not stand idly by while the dragon burns my hold and slaughters my people.
Come, let's go find Farengar.
My court wizard.
The Jarl had a new clue, and the chances were narrow, but a dragonstone might lie deep within Bleak Falls Barrow. So Santa summoned his steed, Rudolph the reindeer, and they rode off to Bleak Falls fast as a spear. Oh! It's Rudolph! Fuck yeah!
The actual fuck am I watching?
Oh yeah!
Like,
Christmas!
Merry
Christmas!
Blood, but still.
Alright, stay right here, Rudolph. Inside of the dungeon, Santa ran through until finally a door with a puzzle he knew. This part's easy. Do each thing twice.
Oh no.
Found the treasure of Bleak Falls Bear. With the puzzle door open, Santa was ready to fight the end boss and hold his hand steady. This chap puts up a real fight. These Draugrs don't quit. But eventually Santa Claus beat the living shit out of him. God damn. You'll always remember this as the day you almost caught Jesus Christ. The mystery of Bleak Falls Barrow had been solved, so it was back to Dragon's Reach to talk to the Jarl. And what's this? Something's wrong. The Jarl is panicking. Right outside Whiterun, a dragon is attacking. If a dragon is here, this was Santa's big chance. So he ran out to give this dragon its last dance.
Kindred, save us. Here he comes again.
This beast put up a real fight. This dragon won't quit. But eventually Santa Claus beat the living shit out of that dragon. God damn, Santa. Oh, and the final punch. Boom! It had taken him hours, but a dragon was slain. Also, don't worry about why the dragon looks like a train. But anyways, Santa sat there and absorbed the dragon's soul.
Oh, that would have been funny
he
if
finally
that,
learned
if
his
that,
Santa
if
shout.
that
Ho, ho,
texture-based mod
believe it.
hadn't had a
Dragonborn. Try to shout.
fucking train
According to
skeleton.
the old legends, only the Dragonborn can shout without training.
Tell us.
Oh.
You believe in this Dragonborn business? Now we know we can.
But oh no, as Santa began to test out his shout, the soldiers started attacking him, and Santa must rout. What's going on with these soldiers? Why are they attacking? The answer was soon obvious. It's Nazim who's backstabbing. Nazim paid off these soldiers to attack him like this, all so that Santa can't save Skyrim Christmas. Soon they arrest Santa and throw him in jail, and they take Santa's clothing, leaving him naked and frail. This
Steel chains.
was the lowest moment of Santa's long life. A failure more painful than even Nazim's knife. He'd gotten so close, gotten the Santa shout's might, but now he's in jail with no end in sight. I'm sorry, dear listener, but Santa was done.
Nazim stole Christmas. Nazim had won. But wait just a minute. Santa suddenly remembered. In the city of Solitude, there is an old tailor. She knows how to make Santa some brand new red clothes. Then Santa would be back to full power, he knows. So summoning all of his spirit and glee, Santa stood there in...
Fuck off. Okay, know what I'm gonna do. Fucking yes. Thank you, Suki, dog. Thank you, Suki. Fuck yeah.
I walked through the doors and I signed my name on the guest list.
Oh, fuck yeah, Suki.
Whenever I get paid, I always eat somewhere in order to treat myself for my hard work. I've always tended to dine in the same restaurant. However, I've...
Oh, fuck yeah, Suki. Bruh.
jail and filled it with cheese.
Holy shit.
Oh. Oh my god! It's a Christmas miracle!
Holy shit,
Santa
that
broke
tells.
out of jail! Out of jail with a wink, he darted and dashed, past Nazim's soldiers and out the gates with a flash. And he hopped onto Rudolph and rode out with glee, leaving behind Whiterun and its big Christmas
That's fucking
tree.
okay.
Santa flew hard through the night, yes he did, dropping some cheese on his way for the kids, until eventually old Rudolph flew and he cruised up to the front gates of Old Solitude. Santa sold off some cheese wheels to make extra cash, then went to the tailor to buy clothes in a flash.
Oh, what delight. Another charming customer.
Finally.
Ho, ho, ho!
What do you think you're doing? You're dead.
It's a true Christmas miracle. Santa's back and in action. With his clothes and Santa shout, there is no distraction. So now, my dear listener, time to send Nazim packing. Santa hopped back on Rudolph, his trusty old steer, and rode through the night, spreading more Christmas cheer. Until finally he landed at Whiterun with a ruckus. It was time, my dear listener, to give Nazim Christmas justice.
Do you get to the Cloud District very often?
Nazim was defeated and Christmas saved too. But there was one thing left for Santa to do. He grabbed Nazim's body for all Whiterun to see and placed it in front of the big Christmas tree. This was his ultimate Christmas gift. Now Skyrim will never deal with Nazim's shit. And with a big smile, Santa gave out his cheese, knowing he'd put Skyrim's troubles at ease. And he hopped back on Rudolph and said with his assent, "Merry Christmas to all. I hope you're not lactose intolerant."
That's fucking good. I'm gonna like that shit. Skyrim, but you can decide. I want to see this is.
元勇者レオデモンハート魔王軍の採用面接を受けに来た 神聖魔王軍への入団を希望する。決まった。これは採用間違いなし。
不採用に決まったらがボケ。
なぜ我らのもとへ来た？人に裏切られたか？世界を終わらせたいか？それともなぜ勇者のあなたが採用面接に応募してきたのか？
この俺が真正面からの一騎打ちで敗れるなどまあ久々なことであったわ。
一人旅だったってことは一緒の時間を過ごす相手の一人もいないんだろう。
だったら私薬草を積んでくる。
俺はなぜ命を懸けてこんな世界を守ったんだろうか。俺はなぜ魔王軍と戦ったんだろうか。
みんな笑顔で元気に楽しく。
こんなクソガキ。
旅に出ます。探さないでください。
異次元の思考回路だなお前。
軍の再編成って大変なんですよ本当に。
投げろよ他のやつに。
Concept's funny.
予想以上に大変だなこれ。
侵略といえど無駄な殺しは認める。
なぜかはわからない。その時もう俺を受け入れてくれるのは魔王軍以外にない。そう思ったんだ。世界が俺を殺そうというのなら俺が世界を殺してやる。
Huh. Really fucking funny concept, honestly. I would definitely watch the entire thing in, like, probably in 2 days, honestly, because I'm still at that stage where I can where I'm able to watch a lot of episodes in one day. For a crime you didn't commit?
I like building impossible things. And no, that doesn't mean building up big redstone contraptions that seem impossible. These are builds that actually look like they shouldn't exist. The sorts of things that cause a record scratch on your brain. You know, your brain sees it and just goes, oh, everything's wrong. Allow me to give an example. This little thing right here. You know, when you first see it, you go, okay, it's a triangle,
yeah,
but that's slightly strange because we are playing Minecraft and... Oh, if I follow this round, it doesn't make any sense. Now, the way that this trick is achieved is by making use of perspective. If I line myself up perfectly, it creates this slightly strange shape. I posted a short about this fairly recently and it was incredibly successful. Everyone seemed to really enjoy it and it got a whole ton of views, and I certainly like things that get a whole ton of views, so I thought it would be interesting to return to a few more impossible Minecraft builds, as well as take a look at a few different illusions and all sorts of strange brain-breaking stuff. And this first one certainly is a brain breaker. I spent far longer than I care to admit working on this build, but I think that's for good reason, because I could look at this thing all day. You know, it's completely baffling. I mean, I'm amazed that I actually managed to get it to work. This is a take on MC Escher's Infinite Waterfall, and it is so ridiculously cool. So in case you're not quite following, we've got ourselves a waterfall that flows into a river that never seems to increase in height,
I don't think it's
but then it goes back to the
lined,
top
but
of the waterfall. And just to add an extra little bit of spice into the mix, I decided to chuck in those 2 pillars, which also don't make very much logical sense. Like, the geometry of it all just doesn't line up. None of it makes any sense. This is what's known in the industry as a complete baffle job. Now, of course, this is a trick of perspective. There are a number of splices in this build that allow it to come together, and if you want to see how this is achieved, you have to wait to the end of the video. Yeah, that's right, I actually just did that. This next one is a bit of a cheat, but it ended up working so well that I want to include it in the video. I thought it would be interesting to see what would happen if I grabbed an image of an optical illusion and imported it into being a Minecraft map. And yep, definitely hurts the brain. I can't actually look at this for too long. To me, it looks like there's a hollow sphere kind of cut out in the middle of this map here. I'm kind of seeing inside. It's like the inside of a half dome. Oh, it hurts a lot. But then it's weird, when the map is tilted down, suddenly it looks like the sphere is actually popping out of the page. There's a lot of stuff going on here. There's a lot going on. Now, after the incredible success of this first map, I thought I'd try another one, and it totally failed. It's meant to look like it's moving, but
really doesn't. So let's move
Kinda
on to
does.
2011, when I used to build these all of the time. So currently this looks like a regular expressionless face. But if I go down here, suddenly we've got a very happy looking one. And I've
Yeah.
actually started smiling myself, which is interesting. It shows how contagious smiling actually is. Let's see if the opposite is true. Because as I begin to fly up past the neutral face, we then get to the sad angle.
I
And
that works.
I can't help but feel sorry for the guy. You know, what's happened to him? Somebody write a short story down in the comment section. The Great Adventures of Twofold. The guy who can look happy or sad depending on how tall the person observing him is. Sundance Film Festival, here I come. There's something wrong with this block.
Yeah, I know.
But I can't quite put my finger on what's wrong with it. Maybe if I move around. Oh no, that's behaving very
wait,
well.
what
Okay,
the
so
fuck?
moving
I
backwards
was
and
gonna
forwards
say.
didn't work. What if I move side to side? That's oh, I feel ill. Oh, that's making me sick. I personally think the sea lanterns work the best for this. I think it's the slightly rounded edges on them, but I have seen people do it with furnaces as well, and yeah, it's definitely... there's a lot wrong with that. In the words of Phoenix SC, that is definitely cursed. I don't know why seeing that made me so uncomfortable, but it did. This one, on the other hand, this one just makes me happy. I really enjoy these perspective-based illusions.
Oh,
I just
shit.
think they're great. This one's pretty obvious in the way that it comes together, but that doesn't stop it being really satisfying to look at. As I'm sure many of you have guessed, the front section of this cube is slightly shorter, and if you line it up perfectly, it looks like it's connected to the back section. And to the small handful of people who are really concentrating on this block, I placed it by accident. And then I got myself into the perfect position and couldn't be bothered to remove it, so it just stayed there. Your frustration brings me pleasure, and now it's time for me to flex super hard. If you combined all of my diamonds into one giant diamond block, this is how big it would be. Look at it! It's an absolutely gigantic diamond. It is absolutely oh. That's embarrassing. Alright, fine, I've only got 9 diamonds, okay? 9 diamonds is more than 7. Yeah, it's more than 3. How many diamonds do you have before you go and judging people on their YouTube videos and things? I know how you feel, Foldy boy. I know how you feel. That was slightly strange and bizarre. And this is quite strange and bizarre. I can't quite put my finger on why this hurts my brain, because there's no real crazy illusion going on. There's no feeling of depth, and I'm not seeing anything move.
Oh yeah, I can see how it's
It's
built.
making my head hurt, especially as I move and rotate. I don't know what it is. It feels kind of 3D and foldy, and we can actually take this a step further as well. This build right here is in a fairly similar vein, but it's a slightly different setup, and it is really quite cool.
Jeez,
the way that square in the center feels like it's popping out at you.
Inverting.
I know, it's very satisfying
the-
to look at, and it actually got me
changing
thinking these would
the
make some pretty
pattern
cool floors.
kind
So
of
I experimented with a few different block palettes. Obviously on the left we've got the standard black and white, but one of my favorite
Why does
color
that hurt so
combinations
much?
is gold and black stone, and that works really quite nicely. And then for Minecraft 1.17, of course, we've got oxidized copper and quartz. I mean, this is seriously cool. If you have a glass floor in your base that looks down at something way below, I would definitely consider building something like this. Now, I couldn't possibly do an impossible Minecraft video without featuring one of these. The good old-fashioned Penrose Stairs. Arguably one of the
Yes,
most
I know.
famous optical illusions. This creates an infinite staircase that always seems to be going down. And despite the fact that it's pretty obvious how this thing works, it's still incredibly satisfying. There's something about these perspective-based, impossible structures that I just can't look away from. But this is how it all comes together. And on the topic of satisfying things, there's something about watching the illusion dissolve as you shift the camera angle that will just never get boring for me. And on that note, let's return to the first one. My take on MC Escher's waterfall. Now, I know MC Escher sounds like a Minecraft username, but it's not. He is a very famous graphic artist who was born in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Far before Minecraft ever existed. He is responsible for a huge number of absolutely mind-bending works of art. They are stunning. And working on this project in Minecraft was incredibly enjoyable for me. So, let's break the illusion.
Huh.
There it is.
It's different
That
from
is
what I
how
was.
I managed to put it
what I
all
was
together. So this
thinking.
bit makes its way around the back and goes across there. It then connects up to this segment right here, which gradually winds its way around. Then this bit connects up with that bit, which then all splices together to form the waterfall back up at the top. Now all of these segments are all done to make these pillars function properly, but the pillars also do a pretty good job at hiding some of the slightly awkward seams like that one up back there. And all of these perfectly placed elements all come together to merge into one final form. I absolutely loved working on this project. It took me many hours.
What else is there?
Do some people in the art community just sit at their desks all day long and think of things they can claim as their own and accuse others of stealing? Because it seems like they do. This is the point we are at, people. Accusing others of color theft and pose theft and anything else. Maybe it's not that big of a problem overall, but the fact that people can pull out example after example of this kind of thing is kind of pathetic. I don't even want to argue against each one of these things because they're just so stupid. I'll try to here and there, but I want to get some general ideas across. Star Wars doesn't own the concept of triangular spaceships, but it does own the concept of Star Destroyers, and for good reason. Star Destroyers are a very specific idea and design. If you copy every part of the design, then yes, you are stealing the idea. If you make a spaceship with a triangle shape, you aren't stealing anything, because triangles are a very general shape that everyone uses. It would be ridiculous to try and own it. Whether this is original or not is debatable, but it's not theft. One of the newest ridiculous things I've heard about is pose theft. I don't know what people are thinking when they accuse someone of pose theft. Like, my god, humans have a finite amount of ways they can move their body. Oh, you worked really hard to make your OC do a certain pose? Well, I don't care.
Fucking
Screw
get
you.
that.
You can't go around telling people they can't draw their character or whatever in a certain pose. In fact, it's pretty likely that someone already drew another person in your totally original pose years before you, because like I said, we can only move our body in so many different ways. Oh hey, excuse me sir, but are you sitting? I'm afraid I'm going to have to sue you unless you get up, because that's my original character's original pose, or OP, and you are stealing it from me. Oh, sorry about that, ma'am. I guess I'm just going to have to never sit again for the rest of my life. Color palette theft. Again, it's utterly ridiculous. There are only so many colors in the world. To try and claim a certain combination of them as your own means you would put unrealistic restrictions on artistic creativity and freedom. Just take one look at the flags of the world and you'll see more examples of your color palette theft than you can count. Character accessory theft. Okay. You do realize that objects and tools are common things, right? Like weapons and clothes are usually produced in bulk. I could get this if it was some sort of special tool that you created, but I've heard that people get upset over like common everyday objects. Name theft. Lots of people have the same names. Unless it's something really bizarre, I wouldn't freak out. You guys are really protective of your OCs, my god. Art program theft. Okay, I give up. I just give up. If you think someone is stealing from you, stop for a second and think. Is literally every aspect of something you made in the past copied and claimed by another person? Or is it just a few similarities? Is that thing that was stolen actually pretty common and could have easily been a coincidence? It seems that a lot of people who have done these thefts aren't even aware of the person they stole it from. Legitimate art theft is a problem on the internet, but this crap is just embarrassing. Also, what's up with some people in the art community getting upset over really meaningless stuff? Like if it isn't drawing characters slightly fatter or thinner than their original designs, it has to be stealing color palettes or something. A lot of this seems to revolve around characters, specifically tiny similarities between different characters. I think because so many artists are paranoid of getting their precious, underdeveloped, and incomplete OCs stolen that these ridiculous theft accusations occur. Listen, when you have hundreds of thousands of artists trying their best to create these epic stories and ideas, you are bound to have similarities. It's inevitable. Some things might even seem eerily similar to others, but you really just have to step back and look at what is really going on before attacking someone over extremely minuscule things. Anyway, my name is Solar Sands, and goodbye.
Oh. Bunny. Ren, yes. Huh. I'm actually streaming much longer than I normally do.
To call NFTs a phenomenon would be a hilarious understatement. Never before have I seen something so ferociously take over art discussion, and the internet in general in such a short amount of time. Well-known musicians like Jay-Z, Post Malone, deadmau5, and Snoop Dogg have participated in them. Even artists I deeply respect have dipped their fingers in the craze, such as Quentin Tarantino and Aphex Twin. The mere mention of NFTs causes emotions to flare up, whether you are for or against them. It doesn't help that they are also an utterly confusing and frustrating topic to talk about. The very concept of an NFT is hard to understand for lay people. I've been researching for weeks and have interviewed many people in the community, and I am still uncertain about some of the finer details. If I were to explain non-fungible tokens as quickly and basically as I can, they are secure digital receipts that are associated with the ownership of digital files or anything on the internet really. Anyone else can copy this file and save it, but you own this one, so it says. People will buy and sell these receipts that are connected to these files for seemingly exorbitant prices, much like how someone may collect baseball cards or Beanie Babies. However, you don't need to know exactly how NFTs work to understand this question. Why do they look so ugly? Many of you may be quick to point out this is a generalization. Since an NFT can basically be any digital file, or anything on the internet really, the types and quality of NFTs are about as diverse as any other form of art. Take, for example, this intricate 3D bouquet inspired by Flemish still lifes, or these exquisite line-filled drawings, or this pinball machine-inspired animation, or this cheeky parody of Bernini's Ecstasy of St. Teresa. But I think it's fair to say that many of the prevailing, mainstream NFTs that dominate memes and the public consciousness are NFTs like these fellas. CryptoPunks, CryptoKitties, Bored Apes, and Lazy Lions. NFTs that have become the target of quite a lot of ridicule for their perceived scammy nature, environmental impact, obnoxiously devoted communities, and ugly designs. While those other claims can be debated, I can confidently say I agree with the last one. CryptoPunks are just so nothing in terms of aesthetics. They're so basic and bland, I can't really find anything collectible about them. CryptoKitties look more like rats to me with their tapered bodies and perfectly circular eyes. Bored Apes designs are off-putting and have anatomical detail in all the wrong places. On top of that, the whole, whoa, raunchy monkeys that smoke weed and shoot lasers out of their eyes frat boy tone of them is just irritating to me. Lazy Lions have this clip art sheen and slightly malformed facial structure. We have hundreds of examples of furry art that has facial designs that are far more pleasing, and I think even normies would agree with me. They are overall not the kind of quality work that I would expect people would pay tens of thousands of dollars for. But I think the overwhelming reason...
So, I'm going on a bit of a rant. I mean, not really a rant, but more like just example giving. If I were to dip my toes into NFTs, I wouldn't fucking put out incredibly piss poor artworks, because like, fucking hell, what type of fucking moron do you think I am? Like a lot of this stuff I shouldn't fucking paint. If you can't draw something better than this in arguably better software, I don't think you should be selling that. Like in terms of just looking nice, I don't like even this looks arguably much better than a fucking monkey. But like, at least have some quality control. Like, have quality control. I feel like I have to repeat myself. Quality control. Essentially, just, not me looks ugly. Like, I definitely do not draw the prettiest shit. I mean, like, I've definitely tried other stuff, and like this actually looks alright. It's one of some of the things you think that is my OC that I used to be fucking obsessed with, named Soul Snake. I mean, anyways, I'm onto other stuff. I'm going to talk about the evolution of my art. So, allow me to just fucking to do this real quick so I can, correctly avoid any shit to do with Discord, to do with showing people's Discord servers, at least directly showing it, because I would rather all of you, rather my mates I've become friends with to. Oh, now it goes live. Okay, my community server. Here we go. We just this right up to here, put this in here. Close this file. There we go. So now. So, here we go. There. So, to start off with, some of the first artworks that I've posted onto DeviantArt was this. Like, actually, hell, this is one of the first digital artworks I've done. So, I did this during Chinese New Year. Along with this. Like, I drew this one first, as you can see. I had a bit of a style thing in paint, where I would intentionally add much more mass to the teeth, and then shape away that mass in order to get the teeth, to make the teeth much sharper. I didn't develop it, well, I didn't develop that thing when I first started. I developed it back with my first profile picture. If I can just find it, keep in mind, there. Fucking hell. Oh yeah, it's gonna be very hard to find my old profile picture. Like, here it is. No, that's not even the same profile picture. Like, actually, if you go onto my Xbox profile, you can see it. It's the same as my profile on Xbox is the same as it is on as it is on Twitch and YouTube. By the way, this is not 10 cents American. This is 10 cents Australian. So it's actually insanely cheap. Okay. Oh I haven't even posted much on Patreon, so some point I ended up realizing, oh shit, I can draw some pretty cool looking shit. Look at this. It's actually, like, this was actually kind of fucking cool. I figured out how to draw this by using my Microsoft Paint, and then using literally anything that wasn't the perfect one. Like, let me just show you. There we go. So, shit, I actually may be able to do higher quality shit now on here. Do high quality shit. So, start off. For example, like you may notice that actually paint's gotten pretty good. Okay, I wonder if it might have been this one actually. Okay. Okay, it was. So, basically, you could you can add a type of enchanted type of effect with this. It's kind of fucking cool, actually. I find it kind of cool. Make it look kind of enchanted. Wait, the thing with paint is shit. So the problem with paint is watch this. It runs out of mass somehow. It's kind of fucking annoying, honestly, but that's just how it is. So when I first picked out stuff, I first picked out art programs. It had to make the same criteria as paint, where I'm saving we're saving my artwork. I could fucking, what do you call it? I could when I exported the artwork, I was happy with the stuff as long as I could put it onto DeviantArt. So as long as I could put the file onto DeviantArt, I was fine with the artwork. So yeah, I think my skills in paint have really evolved, honestly, because it's been a while since I've used paint. I think it's been like a year. That won't stop me from having lots of experience as someone who uses paint. As you can make this look very ambery as well. Like that's why I just fucking hell, like the Wendigo design was kind of cool at the time. It still kind of is, honestly. I think it still kind of is cool. So yeah, that now is fucking looks like some sort of crafted tree or some shit. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is oh shit, that's right, that's what I'm supposed to do. So, fuck. So, the thing with this is, so it's a light coating. What? Fuck off. Okay, so this one worked out better. So, it adds in, the thing with this is, actually, the other thing that I really like about this is the fact that, when you color over it, it creates darker shading, which is actually insanely good for what I was making at the time. As you can see, like this, I did the thing that I did before. Like, obviously, I didn't really have a art block when I made it, but still. So, back to this.
And for their ugliness is the simple nature of their creation. These are the kinds of NFTs that are made up of slight variations of a single base model. This is usually achieved by generating them through a program that algorithmically randomizes layers with different accessories, skin colors, facial expressions, and things like that. In fact, it's not even that difficult of a process to create a collection such as this. You don't even need coding knowledge. If you ever felt that mini lazy lions, for example, look kind of awkward, like elements seemed completely incongruous, that's because they're being pumped out by a machine, and the base model has to be kind of stiff and lifeless to accommodate so much variation. It also depends on what specific parts are being generated. Combining clothes randomly may kickstart the next fashion craze, but when you combine facial expressions at random, you can come up with some truly bizarre and off-putting faces. As if the details of how these eyes and mouths and noses fit together hasn't been all that thought through. As a result, you're probably going to generate a lot more NFTs that look weird than look decent. If you go onto the artist for Lazy Lion's Twitter, you may find something that surprises you. When the artist draws a custom lion, even in a sketch, there's a noticeable improvement. Immediately I can see this one is more alive. That clip art sheen is wiped away. It almost looks like a character with thoughts and feelings. I'm even more impressed with this animated version of a lion. Taking the time to carefully animate the expression, the jumping hat, the puffing cheeks, has somehow torn it away from its machine-like clones. You know what? If they were all actually like this, I might consider buying some. But of course, putting in that kind of effort is pretty infeasible if you plan on making 10,000 of them. Quantity over quality. Even though these kinds of NFTs often fall into the trap of looking stale and awkward because of how they're made, there's still some NFTs that I think pull it off better in terms of aesthetics. Cool Cats has a cutesy minimalist aesthetic. They have a clear advantage in making their designs less awkward when generated because the items they are combining are so simple. World of Women, I think, has the most congruous designs in the sense that if you picked one out, it could stand on its own as a vector illustration made by a person, but it's not anything I would praise. Dream Loops is a pixel art and music NFT that takes clear inspiration from vaporwave aesthetics. Notable about this one is that although visuals and audio were programmatically generated, the melodies for the loopable tunes were individually composed and assigned unique drum tracks. What I'm doing is a bit odd for NFTs, since often they are not talked about as art at all. People will talk about markets, blockchains, decentralization, communities, collectors, and of course, how much money people are making. Few talk about the actual image you are buying. And people in the NFT space will tell you the focus of NFTs isn't the art. Given this information, it's clear why a lot of NFTs lack aesthetic concern or originality. The value of NFTs often goes far beyond their aesthetic qualities. There are NFTs that give you benefits like rarity, help you win more in digital games, give you access to the metaverse, access to communities, and of course, many of them are bought for speculation. But again, I can't generalize. Looks can still play a big part in success. Having a diverse-looking collection is important so that rare items are sufficiently differentiated from common items, and having a collection that clearly has zero production value is probably not headed for the same success as others. And I suppose having a fair amount of NFTs that are ugly in a series is a form of diversity. When I asked people in the space why they bought some NFTs over others, looks did indeed play a part. I interviewed BeginBot, who owns 3 Bored Apes. This ape, for example, he chose because of the matching DMT skin and expression. He was wide-eyed and mouth open, like he's actually tripping on DMT at the time, and the leather jacket looked cool to me. In short, it's better to have your NFT collectibles look clean, diverse, professional, and have room for combining traits in neat ways, but being conventionally beautiful, let's say, is certainly not the focus. I may not like how they look, but some do, and some appreciate them personally and use them as part of their internet identity. NFTs are not all created equal. NFTs like CryptoPunks, Dreamloops, Lazy Lions, and especially Bored Apes are in a higher tier, so to speak. Bored Apes does give you full commercial rights, so if you buy an ape, you can, for example, put it on a t-shirt and sell it. The Bored Ape Yacht Club is constantly building the brand, making deals, starting gimmicks like mutant apes, and encouraging community camaraderie. They are the trendsetters for making an NFT successful. Say what you will about Bored Apes, they are not a rush project. But I can't say the same for a majority of NFTs. For example, Freedom Bunny's clan looks like some badly taxidermied bunnies whose
What the
accessories
fuck?
consist of clip
Well,
art. This one is called a crypto dragon, but I first thought it was a lizard trying and failing to hide a baguette in its mouth. Good God, I hate these with a passion.
That's
They're
so
just so
fucking
simple
cheap.
and yet so ugly. You can see that the edges are all pixelated because I'm guessing they screwed up trying to give it a transparent background. The eyes are clearly ripped from some sort of clip art, and the way the arms are connected to the torso is like if you took out a Lego minifigure arm and didn't push it
fuck
into
am I
socket all
looking
the
at?
way. Wait a minute, what the hell? These were traced from some sort of minifigure, but not a Lego one. Yeah, someone on Discord found out these are absolutely traced from something called bear bricks. Hilarious. This one insults me as someone who makes and loves pixel art. It's clearly just an image of Deadpool that has been downscaled. This person takes famous images of celebrities and puts a bad oil painting filter over them while trying to pass them off as if they were actually painted. Look at this one, they call this an animation of the step-by-step process. No one on Earth paints like this. No one haphazardly lays down the colors like this without any sort of blocking in. Live punks are live-action NFTs. I'll give them points for creativity, but man are they disturbing. Mutant apes are in a higher tier of NFT, I suppose, but most of them are just so deliberately revolting, you couldn't pay me to own one. This one gets me the most. Not only is it astonishingly ugly, it's also traced from a promotional image from the movie Shark Tale. They couldn't even bother to go into the movie and find a more fitting frame of this character, maybe one with both of its arms down. They are just that lazy. These are NFTs from people who objectively do not give a shit. In fact, they make bored apes and lazy lions look like the Mona Lisa in comparison. It seems to me, just from scrolling through sites like OpenSea, that these things are clearly not made by artists. More like people who have never picked up a paintbrush using the bare minimum.
To be fair, I am not the type of person to be very knowledgeable on NFTs, so I have no fucking idea what it is at the time. Right now, but still. Either way, it's fucking disgusting, those. I don't even give a shit about the monkeys. Now, I'm fucking disgusted by that fucking shark. It gives me flashbacks from fucking Shark Tale. I suppressed. I forgot what fucking Shark Tale was. Fuck you fucking motorcycle driving fucking dumb cunt. Okay, anyways, I just found the art style of Shark Tale so fucking disturbing. Along with the premise to be so fucking irritating. There's a reason why I don't watch very many cheap fucking really cheap movies. It's because it's the fucking story, the whole premise of the story can be very infuriating to me. Like being a cocky cunt who fucking makes big claims when obviously you can't fucking do shit. Like that kind of fucking that can really pop a blood vessel for me when I can really pop a fucking blood. Fucking hell. Anyway, it's just fucking disturbing, but yeah. Compared to the monkeys, these are fucking horrors. Like, these are disgusting.
Minimum of visuals to generate get-rich-quick schemes. Sadly, as much as there are dedicated artists in NFTs, as the technology goes through its growing pains, there's going to be an abundance of this garbage. NFTs are in something of a Wild West stage, and this technology will likely go far beyond trading JPEGs. Blockchain technology has been suggested as a way to verify tickets for concerts, secure healthcare records, secure property records, even aid in facilitating an online voting system. Because it is an emerging tech, NFTs are also plagued with problems and bad actors. There's very little in the way of regulation. Art theft is rampant and easy, and has caused one artist to threaten to shut down their account. An NFT bro's solution to this is often make NFTs of them first. Scams are rampant. After joining the Bored Ape Yacht Club and Lazy Lions Club Discord, I was approached with scam messages twice. Some say NFTs are ideal for money laundering, and even doing simple transactions can be disastrous if you're not paying attention. Despite all this, there is still a strong community around NFTs like Bored Apes. When looking for information about this stuff, people were pretty enthusiastic to share their experiences and thoughts about their involvement in the space. Many of them acknowledge these problems and wish they weren't there, but understand them more as growing pains that they hope are...
You know, they found it sound a bit hypocritical or some shit. Anyways, on to other stuff. Oh, this seems fun.
Fifth Avenue. It's 100 yards away.
We're in the era of radio.
I don't really know what. Anyways,
Hey guys! You doing another one of these videos? Yes, I am. I do it because of the...
I used to be scared about fucking streaming other people's content. Now I've just stopped giving a fuck because I like to fucking have good... I like to make sure that the streams can last longer than 20 minutes. Huh. Oh, fuck.
Let's do some more fan character reviews because I...
Okay, I'm gonna try and cherry pick to see exactly, like, see if he's done any browsing DeviantArt ones recently and see if I pop up in them, which is unlikely given the fact that there's a lot of fucking shit. Yeah. Okay, I've definitely seen most of these. Okay. Nope, he has not been active recently, and I can tell you that much.
You ready? Hi, I'm Tom.
And I'm Matt. Today we're trying to break as many laws as possible.
Now there are two rules. Number one, the laws have to actually be enforced. None of this ridiculous shooting a Welshman with a crossbow in the bounds of York nonsense.
And rule two, they have to be silly. I see you driving round town with the girl I know.
Wait.
And I'm like,
Singing profane songs in the street.
I see you driving round town with the girl I know, and I'm like,
That was actually funny.
We flew a kite in a public place. We flew a kite in a pub.
192, 193, 194. Tom, this is a pretty reasonable law. I don't want my house blown up by a cannon.
Legal. Illegal.
For this to count, the salmon needs to be used in the commission of a crime. Ah! What's that?
Assault and battery. What do we do now?
Handle it. That's not nice.
We flew a kite in a public place. We flew a kite in...
That was fucking random. I like that. That was fun.
Today I rewrote history right there.
Clearly still not ready to write off the line, I see. Hello friend, welcome back to MK. My name is Jack and I'll be your snack today. Also, video, that's
You know what? Something I'm gonna do, and that's pretty simple, mate. Pretty fucking simple. So over here. Well, I can just click this, mate. I can just click this. Settings. Close this. Channel and videos. Stream manager. Manager. Okay.
This. Well, thank you very much for the host. Well, thank you very much for the raid, Kronk. How are you doing? What were you playing? What were you up to, Kronk? Please don't break Streamlabs. Just chatting. Hey, is in settings of the pen you are drawing with. Oh, so it would be. Watching YouTube. What the hell is. Stop that. Next song. Play okay, played it on mute Chrome. So it would be in the action or the desktop center, right? For it. For the pen itself, not the
Did unmute Chrome.
So the settings of the pen in
So it would be in the action, or the desktop center, right? For it.